In this session, we are going to learn about what is conditional statement, if, else, if, and else, and what are the switch conditions and breaks. So we are going to learn all of this. So now what we wanted to have is we wanted to have integer value where we call this integer value numbers, and let's give this value 100. So numbers is 100 right now. So now I wanted to have a condition where I can see that if number is greater than 100 and lesser than 200. So I wanted to see if that condition is true or not. So for that I'm going to use if, and after that parenthesis, and over here we are going to use our number value that we have created over here. So now I wanted to see if less than or equals to, if number is less than or equals to 100 or not. In the second scenario, we have talked about ampersand whenever we are using logical operators, to ampersand, and after that I wanted to see the next condition. So numbers should be less than or equals to 200 in order for the condition to be true. We have our condition right over here. We wanted to check if numbers is greater than or equal to 100 or not, if number is less than or equals to 200 or not. If that condition is true, we wanted to print out the value where we can see value is more than 100 and less than 200. So this is the condition that we have right now. And in the different scenario, what I wanted to see is that we wanted to see if. So first is if, and second one is else if. So in the second scenario, I wanted to see if the value is lesser than 100 or not. So for now, what we wanted to have 90 over here. Value is less than 100. So we have this second scenario. So if the value is more than 200 and less than 90, we'll get this two condition. In the range of from 1 to 200, we'll get these scenarios. So if the value is more than 200, we wanted to have another condition. So if the value is like 350 or 500, we wanted to just print out the value. So for now, we are going to use just else right now. And in over here, we wanted to print value is more than 250. Now we have three conditions over here. We wanted to run our application and see the result. So the value is more than or equal to 100 because we have 100 over here. So that's the reason. The value is more than and less than 200 because we are coming into this range. So now if I just replace this into 170, if I run this, so we are still in this conditions. We have a logical operators over here and we are still in this area. So now what we wanted to see, if the value is 70, so it is not equal to 100 and it is not lesser than 200. So now we'll get this part right over here. So if I run this right now, the value is less than 100 because we are having a condition over here and we are making it 9. Let's make it 90 and run this again. So the value is less than 90. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to provide a value of, let's say, 270, because we have these conditions over here. First, the number should be equal to or more than 100 or less than 200, but it is more than 200 and it is more than 90. So if I run this right now, the value is more than 250 because we have 270 over here. So now in the second scenario, if you see that we have only three conditions over here that we are following. So in the different scenario, what you'll have is that you have to check some conditions more than other conditions. So in that scenario, you can use switch statements. So we are going to talk about what are switch statements now. You need to type switch over here. And over here, we'll have parenthesis. In that parenthesis, we wanted to provide this number value because it needs to take some parameters to verify the value from. And after that, we wanted to have curly brackets. In the curly brackets, we wanted to write the code because we'll have numerous conditions and we wanted to keep the track of that. So in the case one, if the value is 0, we are not going to use a semicolon right now. We are going to use two commas right now. If the number is 0, then print the value is 0. The value is 0. So print this if the value is 0. So now we are going to end the statement with a semicolon because break the condition switch statements, because this condition is true. So the condition switch statement will end right over here. If the value is, let's say, 10. In that scenario, we wanted to, if we get this part right over here, we wanted to break. If we have another condition where the value is 20, so we wanted to break it. If in another condition we have a value of 30, we wanted to break that as well. So whatever the value that you are going to provide over here, the switch statement will check the case and the value that you have provided. If that case matches that value, then the switch statement will end. So now we are going to provide one more value. Let's call this 40. And if we wanted to have a default value where we are going to say that, so now we are not going to use a break statement because this is the default value. If that value matches over here, then we are simply going to break the loop. We wanted to provide a value of, in the first case, we have a value of 0. So let's provide the value of 0 and run this application. So the value is 0 right now. If I provide the value of 20 right now and run this app right now, we'll get the case number 20 because we have given it a value over here and we wanted to verify that value. If that value is matches towards this value, then we'll end the switch statement right over here. If I provide like 50 over here, so we'll get 50. But if I provide 100 over here, so I'll get this default value. Why is that we are getting this default value? Because we are checking all the cases and this value does not reside in any value. So that's the reason we are defaultly printing out the value what we have over here. This is what switch statements are.